Hey, virtuous queens. Just wanted to come on and do a quick video. It's Saturday and me and Kingston are at the park. If you don't know, Kingston is my son. He's my 10-year-old son, and we were laying in the house and I just decided to bring him to the park. Here in Austin, it's a beautiful scene. There's a lake and everything, and it doesn't hurt to get exercise. So as I talk to you, I'm going to be walking, but I just wanted to do a video today because I was posting my story in my Facebook single mother's life group, and I realized that I hadn't given my testimony to my virtuous queens on my YouTube channel. So if you're new, or if you've been here for a while and you've been watching some of my videos for a while, then you haven't heard my testimony. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to let you in on my single mother's journey, how I became a single mother, and some things I've learned throughout the journey. So again, my son is 10 years old as of today, and I'm actually recording this video on November the 22nd, 2019. He's 10 years old, and 10 years ago today, well, actually about 11 years ago today, I found out I was pregnant, but it didn't start there. Actually, I grew up in a foster homes. My mom and my dad, they were on drugs, and they could not take care of me and my brothers and sisters. I have 6 sisters and I have 2 brothers. And because of that, we were moved to Department of Human Resources Care, and we were put in foster homes, and we were moved from foster home to foster home. And we eventually were moved to group homes, and then from there, the lady who I call my mother, she actually took us in, and I'm very grateful for her. She took me and the girls in, and her mother took the boys in. So I'm grateful for her for answering the call that God showed her. She was obedient, and because of her, we were able to know each other, and we don't have to wonder where each other are. So from there, I went to college. I went to Alabama A&M back in 2005. It didn't work out so good. I was partying, I was drinking, I wasn't focusing on my schoolwork, and I eventually left school and I eventually dropped out. I came back home and I met my child's father, and I got pregnant. I had my child, I had Kingston, and when he was 2, his father was actually killed. So here I was, a single mom, which, you know, when he was alive, we wasn't together, but you know, he was there. My son still had a father. His father was still here. But when he was killed, that was really heartbroken. Kingston was 2, so he really didn't understand what was going on. Yeah, I'm trying to fix my hair because it's looking real rough right now because the wind is blowing, but glory to God. But Kingston was 2, so he really didn't understand what was going on. But it definitely was devastating. So if you've lost your child's father to a senseless murder or senseless killing, then hang in there, because it never gets you'll never get over it. You'll always be wondering what if, or how would my child's life be if he was still here. But it gets easier. It gets easier as time goes on. So just hang in there. So after he was killed, I began, well, actually before he was killed, I actually began working in the strip clubs. I was working in the strip clubs because I was making $8 an hour and I didn't have any help. So I turned to stripping, and I just thought that that would help solve my money issues. So I went to the strip club, and I actually did that for 3 years before I was tired of it, because it really wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. So I was tired of it, and I asked God to help me to stop stripping and to make a way for me. So God did. You know, it was hard, the struggles, the trials I went through with him trying to tear me away from the strip club, but he did it, and I came out of that. So once I came from the strip club, you know, that didn't stop me from still being promiscuous and still bringing different men around my son, still having different men in and throughout the house doing some deceptive, ungodly things for money. It didn't stop me. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I had very low self-esteem. I didn't have any confidence in myself. I didn't know what love was, you know, because I never had anyone to show me what love was. Yeah, my dad, he didn't want me. That's the number one. That's the number one type of rejection, is when you're a woman and your own father doesn't want you. So, you know, that rejection kind of pushed me into the arms of different men trying to look for love. I'm like, hey, well, they're looking at me. They're willing to lay in bed with me. So they love me, you know, because I didn't know what love was. No one ever showed me. I didn't know who I was as a woman. You know, I always viewed myself as a sex object. I always wanted to wear the tight clothes that reveal sexual parts to make a man lust after me, because, again, I didn't know who I was as a woman. I brought different men around my son, and when it was over, my son, I always would be hurt because that man, he would have gotten attached to that man, and he wasn't supposed to, because that wasn't the man for me. So I did bring different men around him. I had to, it was hard. It was hard. It was hard. As I look back on it, it was hard. So I remember I told God that this is how the devil talked to you. I told God, I said, God, I would not have sex with any other man unless he's my boyfriend. Now, if we know anything about God, we know that he don't want you having sex with anyone unless he's your husband, right? So that was the devil talking to me, telling me, you know, hey, well, it's wrong for you to have sex with random men who's not your boyfriend, but if he's your boyfriend, it's okay. And in my mind, it was okay and it was right, because I didn't know God's word for myself. I didn't know who God was. So after I prayed that prayer, about, let's say, 2 weeks later, the devil sent me a man. So the devil sent me this man, right? And he would come over. I actually went to high school with him. I went to high school with him, and when I got home from college, he was actually one of my little boos or baes. So he actually came back into my life, and he wasn't my boyfriend, but I considered him to be a man from the past. So he wasn't a new man. So I was like, oh, okay, well, it's okay if I have sexual relations with him. It's okay. So that's what I started doing. He came over, we started, you know, doing our thing or whatever. And he began to, once he, you know, got what he wanted, he began to come less and less. He began to tell me that he was out of town, or he always began to tell me that he always had something else to do. So then it got to the point to where he did work out of town, but he would always come before he left. And I thought, he really, really liked me. So I never even viewed myself as being disrespected and being dishonored and being used. But to be honest, that's really what it was. So after I realized and came to my senses that what he was doing, it was a cycle. He'd done it maybe like 3 times before I realized what he was doing. Then I cut it off. But I was sad. My heart was broken. I felt used. I felt abused. And I was just at my wit's end. I was living in a neighborhood, my son and myself. And at that time, he was 5. And I didn't have any money. My credit was jacked. And here I am. I've been, giving myself to a man who hasn't even offered me $1 to help me get out of the situation I was in. I had an air mattress on the floor. And I just had to come to my senses and say, hey, this isn't what it's supposed to be. So I remember that day, I just got on my knees on my air mattress, and I told God, I said, God, I surrender. This was 4 years ago. 4 years ago. I said, God, I surrender, because what I'm doing is not working. So I just surrender it all to you. And that's when God came in. I allowed him to come in. He came in and he taught me who his son Jesus Christ was. And he, let me know that I had been forgiven. And he taught me how to love myself, how to value myself. Now, did he teach me that overnight? No. I'm still learning. Do I know that I've been forgiven? Yes. Am I ashamed of my past? No. Because if I was, I wouldn't be here telling you of the things I've done in my past. But that's my past, and I have allowed my past to shape me, not define me into the woman that I am today. So why am I telling you this story? Because I know that many of you out there are single mothers right now. And sometimes things get hard. Sometimes you have a bill due, or sometimes your rent is due, and you're on a job where you're not making enough money to pay your bills every month. Or maybe you're working 2 and 3 jobs to take care of your kids. Or you have their father in your life who's not doing anything. He's not helping on doing his part to help you take care of the kids that he helped you make. I don't know what your situation is, but as a single mother, we have so many different problems, and we have so many different struggles. But I want you to know right now that it's okay. Your past does not define you. You're a single mother, but that's not your title. That's just so happens to be your reality, not your title, but it's okay. You can overcome. It's so many days when I've had mental exhaustion, and it's so many days where I just wish that I had someone to help me to take the load and to take the burden with Kingston. Having to get up and take him to school every single morning, pick him up, go to work, cook, clean, wash clothes, make decisions, bring in the financial income to pay our bills. It's hard. It's hard. Like, it's hard, virtual queens. It's hard, and I know, but you're not doing it alone. You're not doing it alone. The Bible tells us that for every temptation and trial that you go through, just know that somebody else is going through it. And I'm here talking to you right now because I've been through it, or either I'm going through what you're going through. Like a year ago, I packed up our bags and I moved us from Mobile, Alabama to Austin, Texas, almost 10 hours away. When I packed our bags up, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't have any money. All I had was some money saved up to get us into an apartment and to last me until I got paid again. That's the only money that I had. I didn't know, but I just knew that I wanted a better life for my son. I just knew that where I was, I couldn't stay. I could not stay there because That's where my past was. My past was there. Everything that I just told you regarding my past, regarding my single mother journey, all of that happened back in Mobile, Alabama. So I wanted a new future for myself. I saw a new future for myself, and that is why I decided to leave. Now, that may not be what God is calling you to do, but you have to stop looking to this world to make your situation better. Your life is in your hands. Your life is in your control. I don't know. I know it's some days that I feel sorry for myself. I feel sorry for myself. I look at my life and compare my life to others. But that's the worst thing you can do. Comparing your life to others. Because you don't know that person's journey. That person's journey is not your journey. That person's life is not your life. And if you feel like God is blessing everybody around you, then why can't he bless you too? Did he not make you? Did he not make you? Are you not his child? Are you not his child? So just because it looks like everybody around you is living a better life than you, is being blessed more than you, then don't compare yourself. Just don't compare yourself. There's a story in the Bible where Lazarus' daughter was sick and she was about to die. And Lazarus went to Jesus and said, Jesus, my daughter is about to die, so can you come and save her? And Jesus said yes. And as he was traveling to go and bless Lazarus' daughter, everybody kept stopping him to bless them. Jesus didn't turn anybody down who stopped him to ask him. He helped them. And also, after he helped them, he made it to Lazarus' house. Now, do you think Lazarus would have missed out on his blessing if he would have said, God, you're blessing everybody else, but it's like you've forgotten me. You're not blessing me. What do you think would have happened? Do you think that story would have been in the Bible, or do you think Lazarus' daughter would have, been blessed from death by Jesus? No. So sometimes when you look around and you notice that everybody else is being blessed and it seems like you're not being blessed, just know that your time is coming. Don't get stuck in a comparison trap. Don't compare your life to anyone else. Run your own lane. Stay in your own lane and run your own race. So, single mothers, it can be hard for us in this world. It can be really hard. But you are powerful and you are a virtuous queen, a child of God, chosen. But you have to know that. I can say that all day on this camera, but if you don't know that, then it won't manifest in your life. So virtuous queens, I love you all, and I just gave y'all that name. So if you don't want to be a virtuous queen with me, I'm sorry. But if you do want to be a virtuous queen with me, then hit that subscribe button so you'll see when I post other videos. And also, head over to Facebook in the comment below and go ahead and join my Facebook group. It is a community dedicated to single mothers where we prosper in every single way. I have so much planned for that group, ladies. So much planned. I eventually, maybe in 2021, I do want to get all the ladies together from that community and plan a trip. We are going to plan a trip. So somehow, some way, we are going to get it paid for, and we're all going to meet up on a trip, whether it's a cruise, whether it's to Jamaica, Mexico, whatever. Those are my plans, but I need you to be a part of that. I want you to be a part of that. So single mothers, virtuous queens, I love you, ladies, and I stand with you. I stand with you, and we will overcome. So you ladies, have a very, very blessed day. And comment down below how you deal with the struggle of being a single mother. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't want to say struggle because it can be a blessing to be a single mother. You never know how strong you are until you go through something. So comment below how you deal with comparison. When you look around and it looks like everybody is being blessed but you, how do you deal with that? Comment below and let me know. Head over to the Facebook group, join the Single Mother's Life, and subscribe to this video, my virtuous queens, and I'll talk to you all later.